Ohio's housing market is supposed to be affordable, but prices, they're still near all-time highs and climbing in many areas of the state. That's a crisis, not a collapse. But the reality is that a housing market that was once one of the most affordable housing markets in the country is now pushing buyers to their limits. Today, we're looking at exactly what's going on with the housing market across Ohio, and I'm going to deep dive into 10 areas of the state that you asked me to look at. And by the end of this video, you're going to know what to watch for locally in your neighborhood to find out where prices may head next. Now, if you have an area of Ohio you want me to look at on the next video, drop it below. The first area of Ohio we're going to look at is Summit County, Ohio, and we're going to start with new listings. And this is one of those ways you can find out what's happening in your local housing market by paying attention to new listings. So in Summit County, new listings are up 7.2%, basically meaning, hey, there are more people listing their home now versus 2024. Now, the next thing we're going to look at are the active listings. In other words, how many homes are actually on the market, not just new listings. You also really want to pay attention to this stat. Those are up 20% in Summit County. So buyers basically have 20% more homes to choose from when they're out there looking for a house. The trick is it has to be a home that they want, right? So the mix of the homes on the market matters. In other words, if that 20% are all homes that are unaffordable or need a ton of work or in the wrong section of town, well, the buyers aren't going to want them. So there has to be the right type of home. But in any case, more inventory is good. Now, we're also going to look at homes sold, and you should also pay attention to this stat because this tells you, hey, how many buyers are out there? Are they more active or less active than last year? And right now, there's 3.9% more homes sold in Summit County versus last year. So a little uptick in demand, but we had an uptick, obviously. Again, you go back to new listings, you can see there's more new listings, and we have more active listings of homes for sale too. So when you think about all that together, it means the market's a little more active, but there are definitely more buyers, more sellers, and more inventory. And as this inventory increases, theoretically, prices should eventually start to come down. Although we'll look at that next and see median sale price right now in Summit County, Ohio, $243,000, up 8% year over year. Doesn't look like prices are starting to fall yet, but the market takes a while for that ship to turn. So more inventory will eventually equal lower prices. But I want you to really pay attention to those new listings, the active listings, and the solds. Now we're going to move to Stark County and find out what's going on there. They're up 1.7% with new listings. So just a smidge more people listing the houses. When you only have 108 listings though, hit the market, I mean, 1% really is nothing. That's like 1 point some houses, right? It's not a lot. So they're not getting a lot of relief with new listings. Let's look at homes sold. How many people are buying homes there? Well, that's up 7%. So there were about 92 homes purchased in 1 week in Stark County, Ohio. And then if we go to active listings, that's where it's going to kind of tell us what all this means a little bit, right? Because you've got now inventory up 13%, 736 listings. It's really not that many. So if you look last year, that number was about 665. So you've added not even 100 homes for sale in Stark County, Ohio. Now let's look at median sale price and look at median sale price, $231,000. It's up 6% year over year. And folks, you're not going to see lower home prices if we can't add more inventory. So comment below, are you seeing more homes for sale in your Ohio neighborhood? Next, we're going to go to Montgomery County. 188 total new listings in the last week hit the market. That's up 9.3% year over year if you look at it on a 12-week rolling average. So that's what this means. They look back 12 weeks on Redfin, then they give you a weekly average of how many homes are actually hitting the market, 188. And then homes sold, 148 homes sold, up just 1% year over year. So basically, if you compare the homes sold to the new listings, you can see they added in Montgomery County about 40 homes to the market. Now, active listings, how many homes are actually for sale right now? 1,530. That's up 19% year over year. So they continue to add inventory in Montgomery County. But let's look at home prices and see if it's had any effect yet. It really hasn't. Look at this. Home prices there, the median home price in Montgomery County, Ohio, 9% up year over year, $232,000. Now, don't get excited about median home price necessarily because it's just the median. It's the house that sells in the middle. Homes could be less expensive in your area or they could be more expensive. What you really want to pay attention to are the active listings, the sold listings, and the new listings in your neighborhood. That'll tell you the trajectory of that housing market. But a lot of people want to know the median sale price, so I always present it. But if you live in Montgomery County, Ohio, I want to know, Are homes there more or less than 232,000 around you? Now we're going to Lucas County, where new listings are down 1%. So this is different than the last few counties we've examined today. You can tell by this chart that new listings have been falling, and that's not what you want to see if you need more inventory. And this stat is also not good if you're hoping for more inventory, lower home prices in Lucas County, because homes sold are now up 10.2%, 113 units. New listings were only 122 units. So you barely added any inventory. Now let's look at active inventory and see what we can find. Yeah, active inventory starting to level off, if not fall slightly in Lucas County. 1,202 homes for sale, only up 11% year over year. The truth is, folks, now that we're entering the second half of the year, especially like in a place like Ohio, winter's coming and many people decide not to list their homes and maybe hold off till next year. So your inventory could start to fall in the next few months in many pockets of the state. And you don't want that if you're looking for lower prices. You need more inventory. And comment below, are you a seller who has decided, hey, I'm going to try next spring. I'm going to list my home in Ohio next year. I'm not going to worry about this year. Many people are doing that. Now we're looking at median sale price in Lucas County, up 8% year over year, or $198,000. Next up, Butler County, Ohio, 106 total new listings, down 0.9%. Again, not what you want to see. It's just we're not building the inventory that we really need for some type of big price correction. Active inventory, how many homes are total on the market? In Butler County, 946, up just 9% year over year. Just not enough inventory, folks. But homes sold are down 1.4%. So fewer buyers, fewer sellers in Butler County. The other thing to watch out for as I'm reviewing this data is that any market where inventory is not growing at a rapid rate, you're probably not going to see home prices fall that much. For example, in Butler County, the median home price is now $318,000, up 6% year over year. It shows no signs of slowing down. It's at an all-time high in Butler County. Our travels of got no inventory takes us next to Mahoning County, Ohio, where you've got 72 new listings hitting the market in the last week, and those are up 7.8%. That's good. You need more new listings. Let's find out how home sales are. Unfortunately, home sales are up 8%. So that's 57 home sales. New listings are 72. And actually, new listings are really not skyrocketing anymore. So you're not adding that much inventory in Mahoning County. And in fact, active inventory is up 18%, but still not that impressive. Last year, 615 homes on the market, now 697. So you are adding homes. You're not subtracting homes yet, but you need to keep adding them through the winter to have some type of price relief. Now let's look at the median sale price. Unbelievable. A record high, $195,000. That's up 4% year over year. Let's see if Warren County is any better for buyers out there. 92 new listings hitting the market. We've got an 18% increase in new listings. So percentage-wise, it seems like a lot, but when you look at the numbers of homes, it's not that many. So let's look at homes sold and see what we've got. Homes sold up 13%, 75 homes sold, and new listings was 92. So again, barely adding any inventory. It's just kind of limping along. Active listings, though, are on a trajectory going upwards, now at a growth of 23% year over year. And last year you had 632 homes for sale. This year, 766 homes. So you have added some. Look at this though. Look back in 2024. At that point, you were up 62% year over year in the number of homes for sale. So from 23 to 2024 is when you added a lot of inventory. Look at that. 388 homes in 2023. Then in 2024, you had 631 homes. That's the type of growth you need to see big price declines. Because right now, the median home price in Warren County, Ohio is a staggering, jaw-dropping $434,000, up 5% year over year. Warren County is really expensive. Next, we're doing Hancock County, where you've got 21 new listings in the last week, up 13% year over year. Be curious to see how home sales are there. Home sales, you sold 19 homes, call it 20 homes. That's up 20%. So you were adding 21 homes, but you sold 19 homes, call it 20 homes. So it's a wash. Really, inventory didn't grow at all, hardly, it would look like in the last week. And yeah, it's sideways. Look at active listings in Hancock County. It's been sideways for a while, 240 active listings. Now that is up 26%, but last year you had 194. So basically 46 homes to choose choose from more than last year, really not that much. Then we look at median sale price. Now, median sale price is starting to fall, but you're still way elevated compared to last year, up 7% to $244,000. Last year, $231,000. Now, in early August, $244,000. Now we're going to head out to Allen County, where you added 25 new listings in a week, and then homes sold. You sold 21, so you added just a couple homes on the market. That's not going to cut it probably. Active inventory is now going sideways there, 315 homes for sale. But look, that's 45% more than you had this time last year. Last year, you only had 216 homes for sale. So if you can continue to add listings, that'll probably help prices. But let's look at prices and see where they are. Yeah, look at prices. Unbelievable. $219,000 in Little Allen County, Ohio. That's up 20% year over year. Again, this is an affordability crisis and an affordability collapse. That's for sure. But if you know Allen County, I'd love to know what's going on there. Maybe it's new homes. Maybe are there big properties with a lot of acreage or something is transacting, because the home prices there have just been unhinged all year. You can see the spread. Look at this. There's a spread there. I mean, at one point you were up 23% or 28%, for goodness sakes. So just no relief for Allen County. Next, we've got Huron County, where you've got just 10 homes hit the market recently. That's down 18% year over year. This is an indicator, folks. Again, you got to pay attention to new listings and active listings. And something else to keep in mind, if we're going to see distress in the housing market, like there's distress in the economy because of job loss or unaffordability as far as just inflation of food and gas and everything else you have to buy, that stress will manifest itself in the housing market with new listings and active listings. The more people are in distress, the more they're going to put their homes on the market. The more people that are in distress, the more people that will put their homes on the market. And so you can kind of tell what's really happening with an economy by the new listings and active listings of the housing market. Look at active listings, 119 total, up 14% year over year. How many homes did they sell? Well, they only sold 9. It's down 10% year over year. So we just looked at active listings briefly, but going back to that, you can tell you are adding more inventory to the market. That line is going up. But do you have enough to cause some price decline? Let's find out. No. Look at the median sale price in Huron County, Ohio. Now, remember, it's going to look ominous because you don't have that many transactions. Nonetheless, you're at $227,000 for Huron County, Ohio. It's just nuts. It's crazy. I can't even say it straight. So that's up 20%, 21% year over year. As an Ohioan, I never thought prices would go here. Did you? Now, I told you I'd give you 10. I'm going to give you a couple more as bonuses. So new listings in Knox County, Ohio, up 16%. You had 20 homes hit the market. Let's look at homes sold. 18, call it 19 homes sold. Almost as many that were added to the market. That's up 10%. Now let's look at active inventory. 222, that's up 37%, but it's starting to head down. Last year, you had about 169 homes. So you have added some homes. What's that? 60 some homes you've added to the market. So you're on the right track. You just probably need a lot more. So now let's look at median sale price, $294,000, up 5% year over year. Not an all-time high. You hit $304,000 earlier this year. Next is Miami County. 35 new listings, up 14% year over year. How many did they sell? 28 homes, 11% year over year increase in homes sold. So people are buying, and it looks like people are selling there in Miami County. Let's look at active inventory. How many homes you have on the market? 15%, 253 homes. Last year you had 224. So again, like a lot of these areas of Ohio, we are adding inventory, but just not at an explosive rate. Median sale price now $253,000 in Miami County, up basically 2% year over year. It's not an all-time high. You hit that last year at $262,000, but the price trajectory continues to go up. Will you beat last year? We'll come back and check here in a couple months, but it is continuing to rise in Miami County. All right, that was our list of markets we wanted to review today. Now, I get a lot of requests for different metros across the state, but I do want to hear from you. So drop the metro you want me to analyze in the comments below, and I'll try to get to it on a future Ohio Housing Nerd video. It should be clear as day to you that the Ohio housing market is not collapsing from a price standpoint, but the affordability continues to deteriorate. And we didn't even talk about property taxes today, which, as you know, are unhinged in the Buckeye Buckeye State. So whether you're buying, selling, or just watching, knowing where the momentum is shifting can save you money. Now, if you learned something from today's video, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the Ohio Housing Nerd, share my channel, and whatever you do, I want to hear from you, so comment below. And I'll see you next time on the Ohio Housing Nerd.